All right, Shalom family. I'm back on here again today. I came on last night. Um, so what I'm going to be talking about today, it is found in Proverbs chapter 18, verse 22. I'm going to read that first, and I have another verse for y'all, and I have another one after that. This one is Proverbs 18, go at verse 22. Whoso findeth a wife findeth a good thing. And we know in Hebrew when it says wife, that word wife is an English transliteration of what was originally inside the text. But the word there, it is Asha. Asha means female. Asha, wife. And it also means wife, okay? Whoso findeth a wife findeth a good thing and obtaineth favor of Yahweh. And we know in Yasharal, Yahweh commanded us brothers to be with the sisters, okay? Yahweh commanded the brothers to be with the sisters. Shalom, Sister Naomi. And recently our sisters, some of our sisters, well, a lot of them, looked like they was going through like a nervous breakdown. And I'm not on here to slander my sisters. I'm on here to encourage y'all. That's why I shared with y'all that song with Yolanda Adams saying, I'm gonna be ready. I can't play that on here due to the copyright laws. But and family, also let me know, is my screen okay? Do you just hear the audio good? Cause I went back and looked on my other and I didn't see. Okay, we good. That's awesome. Yeah. So that'll handle it right there. All right, so I noticed that our sisters had a nervous breakdown, and I came on here to encourage the sisters and some of the brothers that had that nervous breakdown. And I want you to know that no matter what decision you made inside of an election in the lands of our captivity, you still my brother and you still my sister. Whatever decision you made in the 90s, if you are still living and you hear my voice, that means I'm talking to you. And you feel like that you have to exile yourself from among your people because you made a decision to vote in somebody that everybody in the community, which means the tribe, was trying to tell you, hey, it's time for you to go. I'm here to show you how you still have value and how you could turn to Yahweh and you don't have to stay in that position. But the Father do tell us that we got laws and stuff we got to keep. So you don't have to walk around here acting like Yahweh don't want you to get yourself together. All right. So I'm going to read out of the book of Sirach. And in the King James Version, 1611, it's called Ecclesiasticus. And this one I'm going to have to pull up on the screen. Because if I don't, a lot of people don't have that book. So let me go ahead and pull up the book of Sirach on the screen. All right. There you go. So let me go ahead and read that for y'all, fam. You know, it's a bad thing when they remove books out of the Bible. So this right here, this is Sirach 26. I'm going to go ahead and read this. Blessed is the man. And you know in Hebrew when they say man, man, it means from. So the word that was there is Adam. Blessed is the Adam or Ayash. I didn't look up the specs of that, but I see this right here. It says Asha. So it's a greater chance that Adam in this essence is male because Yahweh gave Adam to be with Hawa. He gave the woman, the Asha, to the man, not the man to the woman. He gave her to him to be a helpmate. All right. Now you cannot have a male and a female unless there's a male and female built up in nations. So Elohim gave you to be with one woman, Adam, and he gave Asha to be with one Ayash, with one male, all right, in husbandhood. But when it comes down to nationhood, we are to move as a people in a particular way, in a peculiar way. Yahweh said through the apostle Sha'awal and also through the prophets in the law that there is no custom or practice in Yasharal where the Asha should exercise authority over the Ayash. And he's talking to the people of Yasha'al. And he said, do not put another over you. We'll go over that verse right there, Yahweh willing, as well. But first, let me hit this. Don't put nobody from no other nation over you to rule over you. If the men in Yasharal are not commanded to put their women over them as their head and as their leader, why would Elohim command Yasharal to put a woman from another nation, from another tribe over them as a leader by their own admission? I'm not saying that people don't force themselves over us. We're in the lands of our captivity. People do things, they inscribe it with their pen. We are not to put any other person over us. That's why I said I sat it out. I didn't vote. Now, a lot of people say, well, you part of the problem. Listen, we're not voting for our people to be, we're not sovereign over here. Now, you do have some of our brothers and sisters that say that they are Moors and they are sovereign, but you're not sovereign in the lands of your captivity. You are captives in the lands of your captivity. So that sovereign, you don't have sovereign governance over. You're not. This is not a we are a monotheistic people, and we have been brought under this what they call civilized way of life. We're a people that came from a kingdom. This is a whole different ball game right here. So we're out of our natural element, family. So voting and all that, if you don't feel no conviction and nothing and all that, I'm going to stick with my convictions. All right? Now it says in verse 1, blessed is the Adam that have a virtuous wife. Asha. Now we can read about what a virtuous wife is, and that's in Proverbs, so we'll go there, Yahweh willing. But he say, Baraka is the Adam, is the Ayash that have a virtuous Asha. The male that has a virtuous female. Male means husband, female means wife. But not in every sense. Because Elohim has in the scripture where men who are righteous men speak to a woman like Yahweh Shai speak to the woman at the well whom he was not intimate with. He called her Asha, woman. You have a man that's addressing a female. If he calls her, he say Asha. But that don't mean that every time the man say Asha, which also can mean wife that he's saying that this woman is his wife. But he's saying that that's a female. And if that woman is of his nation, that is a female of his nation. That is a wife of his nation. She is a female. And we are all married to Yahweh Shai. When you understand the commandments, then this understanding of this will have clarity. Yahweh said that let every man leave his mother and father, cleave unto his wife, and them twain, which means two, become one flesh. What did Yahweh Shai say? In the beginning, when they was married, he said it was only one man and one woman. But because of the hardness and the stiff-neckedness of our people, he allowed them to have multiple wives. But he said in the beginning, it was not so. Now that's what our king said. The king set up rule. He said it. Now, many of us say, well, they did it in the past, but the king said, but in the beginning, it was not so. He allowed it because of the hardness of their heart, the stubbornness of their heart. But it say, for the number of his days shall be double. Look at this. So when a man find a virtuous wife, the scriptures say, for the number of his days shall be double. So for the brothers and sisters that don't, the sisters that don't see their value, the scriptures say when a man find a virtuous woman, a virtuous female, a virtuous wife, the number of the man that found you, his days shall be double. It say in verse 2, a virtuous woman rejoices her husband. She praises her husband. She uplifts her husband. She speak highly of her husband. She give her husband credit where credit is due. And he shall fulfill the years of his life in shalom, in peace. So she ain't gonna be quarreling with this brother. She's gonna be a virtuous woman, virtuous, and her husband will rejoice in her that he found her, which means that you'll bring virtue, you'll bring life, you'll bring life inside of this man's life. And you can affect all the men of your nation, because there have been wars done over one woman. But if a woman is a virtuous woman, she's a virtuous woman, then he won't have to worry about that. He'll be praised in the street. People will know that they need to respect him. A tawab wife, a good wife, a tawab wife is a good portion. Is a good portion. See, a tawab portion. See, he said when you are a virtuous woman, you are a good portion. A good portion. And if you're married to Yahweh Shai, you are a good portion to your nation, which shall be given in the portion of them that fear Yahweh. Those who fear, that worship Yahweh. Look at what it say here in verse 4. Whether a Adam, whether a Ayash be rich or poor. See, when there's a good woman, a virtuous woman, whether the brother be rich or poor, if he have a good heart towards Yahweh, he shall at all times rejoice with a cheerful countenance. So now, brothers, whether a Adam be rich or poor, whether if you say that I'm poor or I'm rich, brothers, whether if you say I'm poor or I'm rich, I know that y'all will say that he want the brother to be able to provide. But look at what the scriptures say in the book that they took out of the Bible. that if you don't go and get it inside of the hidden books, you wouldn't be able to see. Whether in Adam, whether Ayash, a male, a man, see, you're still a man. Whether in Adam, you still a Adam. Be rich, you still a Adam. You're still a male. You're still a man. Or poor, you're still a man. If you have a good heart towards Yahweh, if you have a good heart towards Yahweh, he shall at all times rejoice with a cheerful countenance. So just because somebody is poor don't mean that that is the purpose of why their countenance need to be down, because that's not where your lifting of your countenance come from, having lack or having things. Your countenance and your who you is as a man is not from what you bring, the things that you possess, but it's your heart towards Yahweh, your mind towards Yahweh, lab, your mind towards Yahweh, not in a multitude of things, in a multitude of gifts that you can bring to the table, as they say. If you may not have $1 trillion. You may not have $5. You may not have $2 to put inside of the offering plate, to put inside of the business organization. You might only have a penny. You might only have 25 cents. And when people giving out the roll call, they say, Tawada for putting in $1,000 inside of here. Tawada Asha, sister, for putting in $2,000 inside this offering plate. And they get to you last. That is because they don't understand the heart of Allahayim. And if they understood it, then they would have started like he did with the woman in Luke chapter 21. Whether in Adam, whether in Ayash, be rich or poor. See, they judge by if you're rich or poor, a lot of people. But Yahweh, in the book of Sirach, through Solomon, or what they say, Yahweh, Jesus, not Hamashiach that died on the tree and rose up. This is another Yahweh here that wrote this book here. Joshua, another one that wrote this book. Whether in Adam be rich or poor, if he have a good heart towards Yahweh, a good mind towards Yahweh, he shall at all times rejoice with a cheerful countenance. Because you know you got real integrity. There'll be 3 things that my heart feared. And the fourth, I was so afraid. The slander of a city, the gathering together of an unruly multitude, and a false accusation. And I heard a brother covering this. And when I just read that, I said, wait a minute, a brother covered that. I just saw that in my mind. Shouts out to the brother that taught on this. I believe he taught on this after the election. Shout out to the brother that went right to Sirach. And I didn't go on there because I determined in myself, and at that time, it wasn't plausible for me to get online. I couldn't do that. I had to spend time with my wife. But it's saying a false accusation. All these are worse than death. And I believe our sister has been covering this. My goodness, all this can tie into what just recently happened with this election. And the books that I told y'all that I was going to share with y'all, I thought that I was on that one broadcast. This one I got them mixed up, so I came in and I did the broadcast that I was supposed to do for the other one, which was supposed to be on this one. But so it don't matter. We still family. The 3 little animals still gonna be brought back together the two sticks is still going to be brought back together sooner or later, Yahweh willing. But Mashpachah, the scripture is giving us all what we need inside of here. All this will go in there. You got to submit. We have to submit to Allahayim. So a lot of us say, the sisters say, I don't want to submit to that man. He raggedy, he po, he ain't got nothing. And some sisters got a man that got a lot of possessions, and she say, I don't want to submit to him. He may have 1 million less than the man over there. And because this man making an extra million every time his check come in, she say, I ain't submitting to him. I want to go to where I can get more money. That's not being a virtuous wife. That's not being a virtuous woman. And we can find ways to try to justify it and vindicate it because a brother don't have as much as the next man. Like I told y'all, there's been brothers and sisters that's been teaching on things like this. I'm not on here to try to steal their shine and steal their light. I'm telling people about this because I want to see our people do better. I'm not going to try to sit on here and vindicate myself, but if I did, then I could go and use the scripture and show. But I do have a testimony after this, after I'm done, as I promised to the sister, that if y'all were willing, I'll come on here and give my testimony. But go to verse 6 in the book, that somebody that is not Allahayim, that's not Yahweh, that's not Lord, said, take out of here. Take this out the book. Yahweh said, don't even mention the names of these other things that people worship. So that's why I don't like to mention Lord. I don't like to mention that name. I don't like to mention God. I don't like to mention it. And it is for my consciousness' sake and for my heart's sake. And Yahweh Shai said, behold, I knock at the door. He didn't say, behold, I bust and kick the door down and slap everybody that get in my way. No, he said, behold, I knock at the door. Shalom, Sister Live Love with Nitya. He said, behold, I knock at the door. And I believe you can find that in Revelation chapter 2. Behold, I knock at the door. If any man hear my voice, perceive my voice, open the door, then I come in. He ain't say, if any man don't listen to my voice, I'm going to knock it down with whatever somebody else take out of my scrolls that I said, that whosoever taketh anything out of these. No, he said, if you open the door, I come in. Verse 6, but a grief of heart and sorrow is a woman that is zealous over another woman. Jealous over another woman. So Yahweh don't want our sisters to be operating. And I seen a lot of things that our sisters being operating in, and I don't mean every last one of y'all. Y'all know that. These things got to be brought out. And I seen a lot of our brothers operating in the spirit of jealousy. But look at what it say. He said, but a grief of heart, this is how your heart get grief. Is a woman, is an ayash, a female that is zealous, and it also means wife. I want y'all to know that. Where it say woman, that is zealous over another woman. Jealous over another woman, my bad. And is scourge of the tongue, which communicate with all. And another word for jealousy is the word covet, right? You're not supposed to covet your neighbor's ox, your neighbor's mule. Yahweh gave that commandment in the book where he told us the commandments in the book of Shemot, where he told us that we as a nation, see, when he giving you particulars, it still goes to the nation because nation is Yasharal. Yasharal is considered as Ashah to Yahweh Shai. But look at what he say. But a grief of heart, a grief of mind, heart, and also means your emotions and sorrow is a asha that is jealous over another asha. So why would our nation be jealous to do the ways of the other nations? Yasharal, who is considered as asha, and also the sisters in Yasharal and the brothers in Yasharal, this command is to us as well, that we are not to be jealous and covet one another's possessions. Because when you coveting another person's possession, that means that you're going to do whatever it takes to take it from that person. See, Dawad his sin was not completed until he fulfilled the lust of his flesh. When you set out a booby trap we used to hunt unclean animals when I was little. And they had a cage that you could sit out there in the swamp. And that cage, we put some cheese or something in it, right? And when the animal, as long as he ain't biting the cheese, as long as he don't step his foot on that clamp, biting on the cheese, he didn't have to worry about that cage closing down. But he going inside that cage, leave himself up for a chance, a strong chance, that if that person know how to set that cage, then 9 times out of 10, just by setting your foot in that cage is a danger. So some hunters know how to set their cage in a way where you can get in enough. When you touch your foot on that clamp, trying to eat the cheese, the money, the gold, the diamonds, the man, the woman, guess what's gonna happen? That door is gonna shut and it's gonna lock. And then the one that lock you in there is coming to gather you out of there and to take you out of here. So we have to be careful with coveting. Because look, if you open up that door, you never know what's gonna come at you when you open that door. You know, some of us got rock rollers in our house. I heard a sister say that she got say don't come through her door unannounced. I heard a brother say the same thing. Don't come through somebody else's house unannounced. Knock at the door, take your shoes off, and wait patiently for that person to answer. And if they don't let you in, it's best to stay on the outside or move along. An evil asha is a yoke shaken to and fro. So if you are evil female, and we as a nation, we are also considered as a female. So brother and sister, this can also hit. You gotta understand the word is a double-edged sword. You can't look down on one and not consider yourself. So it's best not to look down on somebody. My daddy used to say, the only time to look down on somebody is when you're looking down to pick them up. He say here, an evil female, Asha, and we can also see that as the nation of Yasharal. An evil Asha, but sisters, I want you to pay attention to this, is a yoke shaken to and fro. See, in order for a sister to be yoked with evil, the evil had to want to bound her. And in order for her to be a yoke to her husband, then then she is bound by something that's yoking her up to that. Whether if it's anger, she don't want to let the sun go down on her wrath because somebody voted for Donald Trump or somebody voted for Biden. But look at this right here. And evil, and that, see, when we look at evil, Evil is like something that Yahweh did not form you to operate like. So let's say, like, that's like your ears is supposed to hear and you have a ear problem, right? That is a evil. See, that is an evil. The Apostle Sha'awal said that sin in me deceived me, and I sin. He said, I know that it is not I that seek to do evil, but I have a dead nature. I have a wicked nature, and I also have a righteous nature. They war against each other in me. Okay, but some of us deny the reality that we have an evil nature that we battle against. That evil nature came from Adam and Hawa's transgression in the garden. So you didn't have to do anything to have that evil yoke that we all have to battle with. But what we can do is lean on Yahushua and take on his yoke. And that he will help us to fight the evil yoke. You know, the yoke that you put on the ox. An evil wife is a yoke shaken to and fro. He that hath hold of her is as though he had held a scorpion. So you cannot control this female. See, when Yasharal is all out of order, we biting at him like we a scorpion. You see that? So when a woman is acting out of order, Asha is acting out of order, and she cannot be controlled, she is like a scorpion. But that's the nature that came out of the Garden of Eden. And if anybody want to judge our sisters for having this nature, I think that y'all might need to check y'all self and check the nature that is inside of y'all. Because there ain't none righteous, no, not one. Ain't none one of y'all that got it all together. A drunken woman and a gatter abroad causes great anger, and she will not cover her own shame. So she will not cover her anger. And this is how Yasharal in full has been operating. We're like scorpions, intoxicated, an intoxicated scorpion nation. And we hatch eggs of vipers. We're not giving birth to our converts as the people that converted to Yahweh. We're not converting them into be righteous seeds. But those who follow us, that's wicked and that hate the law and that call Yahweh's word Corbin, as a nation in full, and we say we want to put the nation up as the totem balance, we make snakes. They become as twice a son of hell or a daughter of hell than the one that tried to convert them into their image and likeness. So all of us need to battle that evil yoke that is inside of us by putting on the yoke of Hamashiach, which means the Messiah, the anointed one. Cause great anger, and she will not cover her own shame. So, and this is what Yahweh wants us to deal with as a people, to get these things in order. The whoredom of a woman. See, a lot of people, they say, well, they talking about the sister and the brother. Yeah, I'm talking about the brothers too. Because look at how some of our brothers have been acting. I seen our sister having a mental breakdown. That's not the time for us to make a rock and roll song out of it and to make a heavy metal classic. That sister was going through a nervous breakdown, and if any one of y'all ever went through a nervous breakdown before, that ain't something that somebody wants somebody laughing at them about. See, I was locked up inside of the hospital because my family, thousands of miles away, called to do a checkup call, and you know we can't do what everybody else do. And my family called to do a checkup call, and they had me Baker acted in there, and them people trying to tell me what I think inside of my head. And I was on the floor scratching on the ground, and those whose job goes back to the time when they was slave catchers was sitting up laughing and mocking and looking at me, laughing and mocking, scorning me because of what they did. They gave me something that caused a bad effect in me. And they did medical malpractice when they did that. And while I was on the ground being tormented, they were sitting up laughing hysterically as if something was funny. But I saw a nurse walking in the background that should understand how it feels to be vulnerable and put in a vulnerable position like that sister was behind that steering wheel. Now, I know some of our people know how to make you laugh. I understand that. Maybe the sister will look back and laugh at herself years after that. But even if I laugh, I was wrong. The sister was having a nervous breakdown. I would feel better if them officers would apologize and let me go back home. But they didn't do that. They kept me in that situation. And as they say, people wait for you to do something, to make an error, to join in with them doing the same thing, for them to stand out as if they is so self-righteous and big boom bossa, and they gonna go out to judge you while they doing the same thing. This right here, what I'm saying, is not for no condemnation, not to be no warmonger, to go around trying to figure out how to destroy people's pages and stuff. But I see that our sister page looked like it's almost annihilated. And before she had that mental breakdown inside of that car, I heard her saying that she was happy that her page was growing. And she was saying how she put all them years inside of her page to grow it up. And knowing how it feels to be doing all you can to build up something, putting all of your income and all of your time into your stuff, to just see it broke down because you had a mental breakdown on a live video. Family, we got to stop canceling one another just because we acting out of our PTSD or whatever psychological issues we have inside of these nations. We have to stop doing that to one another. Start treating one another like we want to be treated. Because I'm pretty sure that a lot of us had our own times, whether if it was in secret or not. Whether if you mourned somebody before, that you had a nervous breakdown in the front of your whole nation and in front of all the rest of the people. Have any of us ever been made a meme and people made billions and millions of dollars off of us as a meme? And we didn't like that. We didn't want nobody to put us out there as the clown of the century, the mockery of the century. If it gotta happen, let it not be done by the hands of those who don't want that on their hand when Mashiach return. He allowed a wicked nation to do wicked stuff, but those who are righteous will not be judged like the wicked. He allowed a wicked people to do things that is unspeakable because of our wickedness. But even that wicked people that did it, they gonna get chastised and judged. So you stay in the clear. I heard Brother Willie D say, stay out of the way. And that's what we need to do. I heard Brother Philip Scott say, we need to be family. Okay, you had your time. Now let's come back together as a nation. I heard Brother No Captivity say, okay, now y'all got y'all time to grieve. Now it's time to come together and be a nation. I heard plenty of brothers and sisters say that, and that is true. It is time for us to come together. Okay, we did our wrong. Okay, we made our mistakes. We made our errors, whether we felt we was right or whether we felt the other one was wrong. All right, now, you made your decision. That don't mean I got to trust you. That don't mean that I ain't got to feed you with a long handle spoon. I can go back and look over your stuff and learn to trust you again if I choose to. But I do need to learn how to work and love you as a person. I don't want no fake love. So why would I want to give somebody else fake love? So maybe our people need their time, but let's not let the sun go down on our wrath. Because guess what? Even if an ant that was building them ant mouths, that's why our king, one of our kings, Solomon, who spoke through the Ruach, Yahweh, who spoke through the spirit of Yahweh, said, study the ant. Study the ant, oh you sluggard. What do the ants do? Just because an ant may knock the bread out of the other ant mouth, do that mean he say, I'm gonna run away from the whole ant pile? Do he run away from the ant that? No, if he lose that scent, he gonna be a lost ant running around out there and he cannot find the scent. There's ants that throw out a particular scent. Every last ant have their own particular scent that they put out. And that scent is the scent of their kingdom. Japheth got a scent of their kingdom. Ham have a scent of their kingdom. All the Shemites and all of their particular houses supposed to have a scent of their kingdom, and we supposed to have a scent of our kingdom. But what we are doing is sniffing up, buying everybody else's scent. And we're lost ants, wondering why. See, if an ant that don't belong in a certain kingdom try to get inside of that kingdom, study National Geographic. When you get off of here, make sure y'all go and look up the ants on National Geographic. Look at what happened to the ant. Validate what I'm saying to you is true or not. Those ants in that other ant pile will kill that ant and take that ant to their queen as food. They'll kill that ant. Then we sniffing after everything. We're sniffing after predators that kill the ants. We sniffing after the ant eaters. We're sniffing after everything that eat up ants. We're sniffing after animated food that we're not supposed to eat. We're just sniffing. We're everywhere. We're sniffing after every other nation, and we lost our nation's scent. We lost our nation's scent. Answers. We lost our nation's scent, and we don't know which way we're going. You know the fish that swim in the water. There's a certain fish, we call them shiners in the South, in Florida. We call them kind of fishes shiners. And see how shiners swim together, and I even think I seen them swimming like that, but I look on the top of the water because I didn't want to put my head under there in that swampy water. But when I was little, I used to look at the ants. We used to play in the water, but I used to look at the ants. Didn't know how dangerous it was, but hey, we used to look at the ants and we used to look at the fish. Look at the fish, how they swim together. How it's hard for the seal or a sea otter to eat them. It's hard for a seal, a sea otter, or even a shark or an animal of prey to eat them when they swimming and swarming together. They kept the scent. They kept the where they supposed to go. But when somebody go off on the deep end, sometimes it's hard for you to let them go, but they're running off over there. And you want to help them. You want to swing all the fishes all the way back around. But some of our people is following after the wrong fish. We following after the fish of prey. We following after the what they call that fish inside of that movie that eat up everything. Oh man, I can't piranha. We following after piranhas. Cause somebody that say they love you say it don't matter that you don't realize that you ain't no piranha. But they got you following after piranhas and the piranha trying to eat you, and you think that they hate you. That's their nature. And you trying to follow after the piranha. Now I wouldn't dare put nobody to the piranha. I'm sorry, I couldn't do it. I don't know what I won't even try to look inside their case if that was a judgment that I had to make on that person, especially our brothers and sisters. Thank you, Sister Naomi. Some of us acting like piranha to our people. We deceive them. We tell them, hey, forget about what the brothers and sisters is saying over here. They're saying, hey, we are people and we need to act like a people. Forget about that. Hey, we are piranha. Let's run out here. You know them other people that's not piranha, they running after them too. Because they think that you is somebody they supposed to follow. You did you know you supposed to be the light of the world? Yasharal. We boast in ourselves. We say, we said, oh, okay, you got it. People understand, they see your qualities. But guess what? If they following you that path, who's gonna be held more accountable? The blind guide that's leading the blind, right? So the ones that see what's going on, they telling you, look, we are a nation. Y'all going out there doing all this stuff, that's not right. Why would you see a rabbit out there and you love rabbits and you see a swarm, a whole bunch of eagles is flying out there, and you say you love these rabbits, that you don't want no harm to come their way. You see Seahawks flying around out there and you say, let me let out these beautiful animals out here that I swear up and down I love. So all of these Seahawks and all of these animals of prey can get them. And when somebody call you on it, you pretend like you ain't did nothing wrong because you think that you could deceive them like you deceived the other animals you let out there. Family, this kind of deception is wicked. That's witchcraft. And that we got to get rid of that in our nation. Being vile and wicked. And we'll run out there. Because we like the excitement. We like the excitement of swimming around piranha when we know that we ain't no piranha. We like the excitement of letting our cubs hang out with hyenas. You know, people that's cutthroat in business and all that. You ain't trying to look out for them. You ain't trying to teach them nothing. You don't want to set up no schools. You want to keep all of your wealth and everything you got to yourself. And you say, I am not them people. I am Big Boom Shaka. And they are the poop underneath my feet all. But you'll let your people die, starve, and everything. That we got to get up out of. We cannot operate as why would I operate as a leopard if I'm a part of the lion fold? Why are these lions acting like tigers, like ligers, like Zabu and them? Why are these lions acting like ligers and not being themselves? Perhaps Perhaps just like the story of the swan that thought he was an ugly duckling, because all of his life he grew up among the people that he called his brothers and sisters. They said he's an ugly duck. Everywhere he went, he wanted to even die like the other birds, but he couldn't even get in trouble like them. People was knocking him out the way, move out the way. But when he realized who he was, when he grew into himself, when he grew to a certain status, then he realized who he was, because he looked at somebody else that strongly or possibly went through the same thing he went through with another swan. But maybe this swan didn't go through all of the hell that that swan went through with. That swan, that female swan that he saw, probably didn't go through all the stuff that that male swan went through with. It's not for her to shut his mouth and to warn the other swan females and the other swan males, hey, don't put your eggs over there with them unless you are willing for them to go through all this right here. If something might happen to you, just understand this is what that baby may have to go through with. We need to stop trying to shut down people that's a help to our people. Stop trying to shut down vocations that's a help to our people, because we want to be the only one that benefit from it, so we can say, look at me, it was I. Like I told y'all, even with your pop, why in the world is we arguing about who is the biggest, baddest monkey? You made fire. Okay, if you said you the first one made fire, who cares who was the first one made fire? When is they gonna get warmed up at the fire? It's dead up wintertime. People, you can argue about who made the fire once the fire is lit, so people can get there, so they can get warm. They can argue about who made the wheel last. Let's first build up these wheels first, and then we can talk about who made the wheel, because the person that made the wheel, they don't know what you're talking about, because they have nothing more to do with this world. Let's stop talking about who was the first one to do this and who was the first one to do that. So let's keep this wicked system going like it's going. I'm going to be a part of the kingdom. I'm a Christian. I'm this, I'm that. You may not can't save this kingdom, but you should be praying for your soul. You may not can't save this iron and clay, but you can pray that your soul be saved. I hate it. I hate it. Well, people will hate anything that's gonna go against something that they feel like is make them feel superior and better than anybody. But what did the scripture say? And I tell you what I am. I'm a slave of your slaves. I'm a slave of your slaves, America. I'm a slave of the ones that you made the Constitution 13th Amendment to. I'm their slave. I'm the people that the ones that's in prison, I'm their slave. That's why I tried my best to vote. I can't say that, because if I say that, then repercussion come of that. I just want to show it. A certain repercussions when your people are looking for you to be a sacrifice, and they still be stiff-necked and do whatever they want to do. Elder Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, Marcus Garvey and them, they passed on, and look at how we acting now. Look at how we acting now. Some of our people say our grandparents would be rolling over in their grave if they saw how we was acting. If they thought that we was just voting so we could be pimp. How would Martin Luther King feel if he was still here? To see us just voting just so we could fit in with everybody and look cool. Just because somebody give you some money in your pocket, that's how much you value your people. Where you will sell them out just for some money, for some coins, like Judas Iscariot sold out Hamashiach for 30 shekels of silver. You know why Judas Iscariot didn't find repentance? Because he didn't repent. He took himself out. Some of our people may feel so bad, and that's why it's not good to mock one another when you see somebody having a mental breakdown. Some of our people is having a mental breakdown. And they looking back at themselves and they say, have I destroyed everything by showing my mental breakdown in front of all the people? My goodness. I saw that sister crying on that video. I tried to laugh, and that's why I apologize to the sister. I apologize to you. But sometimes I try to laugh so I won't feel like I do. But that don't make me right. So I apologize to the sister. If I got to be the first one, I apologize to your sister if I laughed at you. But we got to do better as a people. And I know that the sister thought she was right. But it's best that we all come together as a people and do things the right way. Because we wouldn't want nobody if we had a mental breakdown like that in front of everybody. And I know some of us say, oh, that can never be me. I can never have no mental breakdown. Live. Maybe that wouldn't have been enough for me. Maybe that wouldn't have been enough for somebody else. But who knows what somebody going through within their life. Family, let's not do each other in. Let's not be worse than the thing that we've been trying to get away from after all these years. Let's not be worse. Let's not be unsafer than it is where it's really not safe. You can't lay in your pillow because you did something that our people consider as the unpardonable thing. And we do some things towards Yahweh and want him to pardon us. So it may be good. Let's feed each other with a long handle spoon. But let's not let the sun go down on our wrath. When he said forgive, he was telling you about your brother and sister. You forgive. If you can't forgive your brother and sister first, how can you go out and forgive somebody that slaughtered your brother? But when your brother and sister do something, we all over them like hot on rice. We'll never let them go. Hold on to something for 20, 30, 40 years and never let it go, pass it down to our children. And then it become an ancient evil that we see in each other. Never let it go. It'll be like a thorn that goes in deeper and deeper and deeper. And the only one that can pull out that thorn is Yahweh. I tell you what, the greater you can forgive, and you may need to, because you can't trust everybody, but the greater you can forgive, that's the more deliverance you can get. And I don't believe in going a lot, but I did this because if I said something that was in the open, then I'm going to do mine openly to my sister and my brother. I apologize if I offended you while you was having your mental breakdown. And I want to say again, shalom to you, Sister Naomi. And thank you, sister, for, that's right, sister, was a piranha. Remember, when we get off here, go and study the ants, National Geographic. And make sure y'all give National Geographic a like for making a video for y'all can see. And then study schools of fish, how they swarm. That's something natural. That's something of good report. That's something of virtue when you study and when you watch a National Geographic on TV so that you can understand your nation. That's a good report, ain't it? All right, family. And don't forget to show your brothers and sisters support. And I just want to say thank y'all for being patient with me. I know my peanut head can get agitated probably sometime with y'all. But oh, I'm so grateful that I got a family like Yasharal. Wouldn't trade you for nothing. But I can't. That's another thing we need to realize. Yahweh put you where he wants you at. Just like they say, he make male, he make female. You can't change your nation. No matter if you bleach yourself and whatever you do to yourself, you can't change who you are as a person. But you can change how you treat one another. All right, family, I want to say shalom and thank y'all for listening. Please like and share. And like I said before, the links of the things that I've been talking about is in the description under the video. Make sure y'all go and check out one another's stores. Don't forget to check out our sister Positive Reinforcement store and any other brothers and sister stores that y'all see online that if y'all got the income, if y'all can do it, go ahead and support them. And I'm going to thank y'all for being such a loving family. And let's continue to seek and save those that are among us that need to be found. All right, family, because if I see my granddaddy, because my granddaddy had Alzheimer's, if I saw my granddaddy walking out there looking for the man, and he didn't know where he was going, I want to try to help my granddaddy get back home, if I could. You know, I want to help my granddaddy. If I saw a sister that was blind walking across the road, I don't think that it's Yahweh's will for me to let the trucks and stuff hit her. So we have to grab her and say, hey, sister, let me help you cross here. Let folk talk about it. Oh, he's sleeping with her. Guess what? Think what you want, but guess what? This sister ain't gonna get hit walk across this road. All right, sister, go in peace. Never meet the sister again, but I'm glad she made it across that road. That's something that happened between me, y'all, and her, and she didn't even see me with her eyes because she was blind. But guess what? She made it across that road. And let Yahweh bless you. When you do something for your people, you do it in secret. Yahweh see you do it in secret. He'll bless you openly. Be praised, rather to be praised by your brother and sister than for you to get up and praise your own self and boast about your possessions. That was a brief of my testimony mixed in with what I was teaching. But family, I'm about to get off of here. I pray that this word encourage y'all. Remember again, go and look up that National Geographic, the answers, and then I want you to look up the School of Fish. And if you can, watch the one that's 50 or an hour and something long, because that is a virtuous thing for you to study to know how to love your people.